Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Eimear McKeown. Today's top stories. Over 60 staff at Cork University Hospital have been placed in self-isolation after a case of coronavirus at the hospital. The Dungarvan St Patrick's Day parade has been cancelled due to fears over coronavirus. There are concerns that Tramore will be left without a superintendent after Garda reforms are finalised. And in sport, Waterford FC are seeking their first home win of the season tonight as their Derry City visit the RSC. Over 60 healthcare workers at Cork University Hospital have been asked to self-isolate following a case of coronavirus at the hospital. Meanwhile, Nursing Homes Ireland has confirmed visiting restrictions are now in place at facilities nationwide. No non-essential visiting, children or groups will be allowed. Shane Beattie reports.
Staff are being redeployed while visitor restrictions are in place and elective procedures are being curtailed at Cork University Hospital after the first case of community transmission was confirmed when a man who had been treated at CUH was found to have COVID-19. Dr. Chris Luke, a former consultant at CUH, says tough decisions are going to have to be made.
That some unfortunate people on very long waiting lists will have to wait even longer. Some people who expected to come into hospital in Cork and all around the country for their surgery or their endoscopy or their scan will have to be put off and will have to endure that disappointment.
The number of new cases in the Republic doubled last night. They now stand at 13. Trinity College has confirmed one of the new cases was diagnosed there. A national helpline has been set up. Its number is 1850 24 1850 for those worried about coronavirus. The World Health Organization says now is the time to look after each other. Dr. Margaret Harris is from the WHO.
If you're a low-risk person with a mild illness, you could infect somebody in the high-risk category, which is an older person or a person with underlying illness. So it's a time to look after each other.
Guidance about mass gatherings is due later after health officials meet stakeholders and patient groups.
The Dungarvan St Patrick's Day parade has been cancelled due to fears over coronavirus. Organisers made the decision today after the first case of community transmission was confirmed. Anne-Marie Rossiter is secretary of the committee.
We had discussions yesterday with regards to road closures and things like that. We just felt we were putting everything on hold. We were going to wait until Monday to make the decision, but I think this morning we just decided that, well, this is it now and we might as well make it. And I know it's a hard time for everyone, for businesses especially, because it is a good day around and it's a Tuesday and kids are off school and everything like that. So, but it was a decision that we felt was safer, and I'm much happier today now that the decision has been made.
There are concerns that Tramore will be left without a superintendent after Garda reforms are finalised. The district superintendent, John Mulligan, is retiring in the coming weeks. He's one of around 50 senior officers leaving the force this year nationwide. Speaking at the Joint Policing Committee in City Hall, local councillor Lola O'Sullivan fears he won't be replaced.
Superintendent John Mulligan is retiring. And prior to John coming to Tramore, we had quite a big period of nobody there and questions as to whether we would get a superintendent or not. So I took the opportunity tonight to ask that when Superintendent Mulligan retires, that Tramore wouldn't be forgotten.
The current structure sees superintendents based in the city, Tramore and Dungarvan. But Garda Commissioner Drew Harris told WLR News that the aim is to no longer classify superintendents around geography.
It's for the Chief Superintendent to decide how he wants to use his superintendents. But say it's roughly, will be 3 for the community engagement work, a further one then to deal with crime, and then a further one then to deal with governance and performance and discipline and other issues then in assistance to the Chief Superintendent. But we'll also then have an assistant principal to deal with administration.
A retired Waterford doctor says the public should be supporting the cleaners striking outside University Hospital Waterford. Cleaning staff employed by Momentum downed tools over a week ago in a row over changes to their working conditions without consultation. Their union Unite has written to the Workplace Relations Commission seeking that the industrial action be referred to the Labour Court. Speaking to Damien Tiernan on Dayshoot today, retired GP Dr Chantel McNamara says the cleaners at UHW are valued members of staff. staff.
They're pleasant, courteous and most helpful. I couldn't say enough about them, and my heart bleeds when I see them standing out there. They should be brought into negotiation. They should be helped in any way by the people of Waterford.
2 youths remain in Garda custody this afternoon in connection with an armed robbery at an ATM in Waterford City. A man was approached by 4 males while withdrawing money from the AIB cash machine on Paddy Brown's Road on Wednesday night, shortly after 8 p.m. One of the juveniles had a knife and they threatened to stab the man if he didn't take out money and give it to them. His phone and wallet were also taken. Gardaí arrived at the scene and 2 of the suspects were arrested and taken to Waterford Garda Station. They're being held under Section 4 of the Criminal Justice Act. Gardaí are appealing for witnesses, particularly anyone who may have been driving in the area at the time and have dashcam footage, to contact them. All dogs can turn into killers. That's according to a Waterford sheep farmer. Farming and animal groups are warning dog owners to keep their pets under control during lambing season. Around 2.5 million lambs will be born on farms across the country this springtime. Michael Ketch, a sheep farmer in Stradbally, says people aren't aware of how dangerous a loose dog can be.
Last Sunday there was a guy up on the hill there on the roadway and he had 3 dogs off leads, and I said to him, look, you're aware there, you're in middle of sheep country there. He said, look, I look after my dogs, needn't worry about that, but like, this is always the response you get, you know. Problem is that any dog, no matter how quiet he is, like if the dog gets surprised or something runs across his path like a deer or something and he takes off after him, then the dog is lost in a little while and starts hunting, you know. They just have those instincts for hunting. All dogs are a threat really, you know.
There's an appeal for witnesses after a cyclist died following a crash in County Cork. The 60-year-old man was on the OR 639 between Fermoy and Rathcormac when his bike was hit by a car. It happened at 7 o'clock this morning and the road remains closed for a forensic examination. A community in County Kerry is in shock following a murder-suicide in the US involving an Irish woman. On Wednesday morning, Joan Huber was found dead along with her 2 teenage sons and her husband in a house in Nevada. Investigators say it's an isolated incident and there is no threat to the community. Mayor of Killarney, Michael Gleeson, says he knew the family very well.
It's very early and it's far too raw as of yet. The family are only coming to tell them to themselves. But if there's anything the community can do at any level or in any way, I can assure you it will be done through the SPA GA Club and through the East Kerry Board and through any other community activity that would be deemed necessary to assist them.
WLR Sport.
With thanks to the Waterford Viking Marathon. Register now at waterfordvikingmarathon.com.
Very good afternoon, I'm Gavin. Whelan, starting with soccer, and Waterford FC and Derry City will clash for the first time this season at the RSC this evening when they meet in the Electricity League Premier Division. The Blues won their opening game away to St Patrick's Athletic but lost their 2 home games to Bohemians and Shamrock Rovers, suffering 2-0 defeats on both occasions. Blues striker Michael O'Connor believes they will be ready for the challenge of the Candy Stripes this evening.
Yeah, I think we're only together 9 to 12 weeks and you know, we went the first game of the season, beat a top team in Dublin, you know, didn't get carried away with ourselves, keep our feet in the ground, but now this Friday we'll be looking to put it right again and move up the table.
The club recently announced their support for 24/7 cardiac care for the South East, and the team jerseys carry the support logo. Waterford FC events manager is Mark Dunn. He's asking everyone at tonight's match to light up the RSC in the 24th minute of tonight's game.
We have partnered up with the 24/7 cardiac care campaign for the South East with Waterford Football Club this year. It's been a fantastic initiative so far for the club. There's been an outpouring of public support which, and rightly so, for the services that are required. So what we're going to be doing in the Derry game this week is on the 24th minute we're pushing everyone to light up the RSC. So we're going to be encouraging everyone to take out their phones, or if they don't have a light on their phone, bring a torch, bring something that has a light on it, literally light up all the stands, and just to show solidarity for the cause.
Kick-off is at 7:45. McKeown will have regular updates across the evening here on WLR. Elsewhere tonight in the top flight, Dundalk look to bounce back from their loss to Shamrock Rovers. They travel to Ballybuffet to Finn Harps. There's a Dublin derby at Dalymount Park as Bohemians face Shelbourne, and Cork City make the trip to St Patrick's Athletic. Crystal Palace manager Roy Hodgson has signed a 1-year contract extension, keeping him at Sellers Park until the end of next season. The 72-year-old took charge in 2017 and has guided the club to successive mid-table finishes in the Premier League. Nottingham Forest Forest have the chance to move level on points with third place Fulham in the Championship this evening. Victory at home to Millwall would move the promotion chasers to within 2 wins of the top of the table. Gaelic games next, and Wexford hurling boss Davy Fitzgerald has been impressed by Waterford's work rate under new manager Liam Cahill. The Daish are away to Limerick in a top of the table clash in Division 1A of the Alliance Hurling League tomorrow evening.
Liam has fairly laid down the law, put out his stall exactly how he wants it, and fair play to him. The lads are working extremely hard. We played them in a practice match recently and they're working extremely hard for him. That's important. So it is. I'm sure Liam is happy enough with his progress so far, but as we all know, it's early in the year yet, and things only start to heat up probably from now on, you know. So I'm sure Liam is saying to himself, we're not in a bad position, but now we've got to capitalise and go even further. And Liam will be a very tough guy, and he'll demand high standards wherever he goes.
Throw in at the LIT Gaelic grounds is at 5:30. WLR will broadcast the game live thanks to George Corbett-Skoda with Kieran O'Connor and Fergal Hartley, your match commentators. You can hear more from Davy Fitz on this evening's Lorna Porca with Tomos just after 6 o'clock. The all-county hurling leagues get underway here in the county as well this evening. 3 games down for decision in Division 2. Abbeyside play host to Lismore. Stradbally welcome Fenner, and Kilmac Thomas play host to Kilgobnet. All those games are underway at 7:30. To news of racing next. Trainer Gordon Elliott says he's now considering switching Envoy Allen from the Ballymore to the Supreme Novices Hurdle at Cheltenham next week. Envoy Allen landed the champion bumper at the festival last year and was one on his last 7 starts. Elliott says he'll make the decision after inspecting the track this weekend. To news of boxing, Katie Taylor says she's preparing for a massive fight against 7-weight world champion Amanda Serrano at the Manchester Arena on the 2nd of May. 2012 Olympic champion Taylor will return to £135 to defend her WBC, WBA, IBF and WBO titles against the Puerto Rican. Athletics, and 3 major fixtures take place tomorrow where Waterford athletes will be well represented. The National 20km race walking championships are in St Anne's Park, Raheny. Kate Field West Waterford will be aiming to defend her title there. They begin at 11 a.m. The All-Ireland Secondary Schools Cross Country Championships are in Santry in Dublin. They begin at 12 noon with 4 grades, minor, junior, intermediate and senior. And the All-Ireland University Cross Country Championships are at Cork Showgrounds. The event getting underway at 2 o'clock. Today's racing action comes from Dundalk with the first of the Loud Track underway this evening on the all-weather at 5:15. Sports news on WLR thanks to WaterfordVikingMarathon.com.